Hello, ladies, and welcome back to Get 'em Girl, a girl's guide to relationships, femininity, dating, polarity, and attraction. Okay, ladies, so y'all know this is one of my favorite topics, how to become a spoiled woman. Okay, let's talk about it because I think people feel like when I say a spoiled woman, you're just envisioning a man saying, here's this, here, take this. And that's not what I'm talking about, ladies. I'm talking about spoiled in a way where you feel cherished, okay, adored, like you have someone who would be willing to go to the ends of the earth for you, okay? Not just handing you everything like you're a child, okay, ladies? So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the spoiled woman. So if that is the lifestyle that you want, if that's what you're trying to manifest for yourself, I'm going to give you 5 different little tips to start to implement to get you closer and closer to having that for yourself. Okay, ladies? So let's go ahead and hop into number 1. We have to talk mindset first. Okay. The first step in going into your spoiled wifey status is working on that mindset. Okay, ladies, because you get what you expect. Okay. And what that means is you have to know that you deserve to be spoiled. Okay. You have to know your worth. You have to know that nothing is too much for you, okay? You have to know these things and actually feel that you're worthy of them, okay? Because when you actually know that for yourself, you start to walk in it, and that prevents you from being a person that's begging. That prevents you from being a person who chases or settles because you know what you actually deserve. And you do not start to display those behaviors that don't speak to the high value woman that you are. Okay, you carry yourself with confidence and class because you know what kind of woman you are. You know what you deserve. You know what you're worth. Okay, ladies, and you have to dig deep and actually imprint that into your mind so that you can actually operate in it, because you can fake it till you make it all you want to. But if you actually don't feel like this is what you deserve, you're going to start to exhibit behaviors and say little things that people can read, and they'll be able to tell that although she's saying these things, she doesn't really believe that she deserves this. Like, she doesn't operate as a person who feels like she deserves this. She's operating out of desperation. She acts like this is a make or break. Okay, ladies, you have to know that and this is not just with a man. This is in every aspect of your life. You have to know that you are deserving. Okay, you have to know that for yourself before anybody else believes it. So you have to start working on that mindset. And ladies, you have to stop all the negative self-talk. You have to stop getting down so bad on yourself. You have to amplify yourself, okay? Because the woman who actually tells herself, I deserve this, the woman who knows that, she knows that it does not matter what situation comes and goes. Because of who she is, she can always attract. She doesn't operate out of a space of lack. Because I deserve this, it doesn't matter if it's this man or that man or whoever, I deserve this. So I'm not going to act as if because one person isn't here that I won't have it. So I'm not going to be begging. I'm not going to be chasing, because I know even if he leaves, the situation is not the way it is because of him. It's because of who I am and what I deserve. I attract that. So I know I'll have it again. Do you get what I'm saying, ladies? The mindset of a spoiled woman is one who knows what she attracts. She knows she attracts it because she deserves it and she walks in it. Okay, so you have to get that right before you do anything else, because what you put out there, what you put out as far as the words you say, what you put out as far as your actions, what you expect, you tend to attract. Okay, ladies, and entertain. Okay, ladies. So you definitely have to work on the mindset first. Okay, ladies, for our second tip, I want to go ahead and just get this out in the open. Your appearance matters. Okay? Your appearance matters. And I'm not saying you have to be a supermodel. I'm not saying you got to be supermodel thin. I'm not saying anything like this, but you do need to take care of yourself, ladies. Okay? You do need to be trying to present the best package that you can when you walk out of the door. Okay? You need to, because looks matter in this society. They really do. And what I'm going to tell you is, I want you to think about it like this, right? When you think of a business, right, and you think of a business that's trying to get investors, okay, a business that needs investors. Well, when these investors are looking into whether or not they're going to actually help out, they're looking at the business and seeing if it's attractive, seeing if it's making money, seeing can it make money, the potential of it. But they're also looking at what it is. Does this look like an attractive business that can actually garner attention? Does it look like that? Okay, ladies. And then they invest. It already has to be attractive to them, though. Do you get what I'm saying, ladies? So all in all, the point is you cannot expect someone to come into your life and treat you like this spoiled princess and want to do all the things for you. But you walk out the house looking like who did it and what for. You looking like that, but you asking them to do these certain things. And they like, you don't look like a good investment. Okay, ladies? So you have to make sure you're looking right. And when I say that, do not forget your hygiene in this. Hygiene needs to be on point, okay? Hair, nails, skin, okay? We want all of those things to be on point. Figure out the clothing that looks good on your body, ladies, on your body, on your body. Let's figure out these things so we can make sure we're presenting the best package that we can when we walk out of the door. Okay, there is no excuse for us to be walking out of the house looking crazy these days. It's just not. So, especially if you're a woman who expects a provider, especially if you're a woman who expects to be spoiled, well, you got to look like one heck of an investment, okay? And so it is up to you to make sure that you are looking like you take care of yourself. Okay, ladies? Okay. Our third tip is going to be set boundaries and standards and actually stick to them. Okay, ladies, it's not even the setting the boundary or the standard that most of us have issue with. It's the sticking to them. Okay, you have to actually stick to your boundaries and your standards. Okay, and so what I'm going to say to you is, a woman who wants to be spoiled and provided for, if that's what you're looking for, you cannot just go out and accept any treatment. Okay, you cannot just go out and okay anything. You have to set a standard, because anything that does not match what you say you want, you need to be able to throw it away. You need to be able to get rid of it. I have had so many women that I've worked with who say, I want a provider. I will not accept anything less. I want a man who's going to take care of me and take care, of our kids and all of this. I will not accept anything less. And then I get her out and she's dating and doing all these things. And she's saying yes to men who don't even want to pay for the full date. Do you get what I'm saying, ladies? She's saying yes to men who are asking her for money. You have to set a standard and stick to it. You cannot say yes to every single thing as a woman who's expecting a provider, okay? You have to be able to say no and set boundaries to any treatment that does not align with that. You have to. You cannot keep giving people the benefit of the doubt and compromising, because before you know it, you'll wind up in a situation where you're with a man and you're going 50-50 and you cooking and cleaning and doing all of these things. And that's not what you said you wanted from the get-go. Okay, ladies? If someone is not showing you the treatment that you expect, you have to get comfortable with saying goodbye. You have to get comfortable with your no and make your no mean something. Okay, ladies, when you say you want something, you have to be comfortable with saying no to things that do not fit that until you get it. You have to stick with that standard. Otherwise, you will not be the spoiled woman because you will accept a situation where you are not the spoiled woman. Does that make sense? Okay, so it's not about being a mean girl. It's not about being insufferable or anything like that. But what it is getting in alignment with the things that you say you want. If you say you want a provider, stop entertaining men who don't provide. If you say you want a provider, stop entertaining men that you have to talk into providing. Okay, ladies, that's heavy. That's a heavy one right there. If a man is a provider, he's a provider. You're not going to have to talk him into it. It's going to be characteristic of him. You're not going to have to convince him to do it. It's going to be something that he wants to do. Okay, ladies? So you're not going to be fussing and fighting and trying to get a person to provide. That's not what you're going to be doing. You're going to have a standard, and the man who is a provider will be able to meet that standard. Okay, and that's what we're looking for. But you set the standard and you stick to it. Don't just let anybody bypass that. Okay, ladies, that is so, so important because I think that's where a lot of women that I talk to actually fall off the bus. I need you to stick to the standard, stick to the boundary, enforce the boundary, hold the boundary. Okay, ladies, do not let anyone across unless they have shown you that they are willing to be what it is that you said you expect. Okay, ladies, enforce the boundary. Okay. I just want to reiterate that. That kind of feeds into our fourth tip, which is attract generosity. Okay, ladies, attract generosity. And when I say that, you have to embrace what it means to be a feminine woman. You have to have warmth. You have to have softness, because what you'll find is generosity, just as we should. Generosity goes where it's appreciated. Hello. Generosity goes where it's appreciated. And so as a person who wants a provider, that means not that you want a rich man, that means you want a generous man, right, ladies? And generosity flows where it's appreciated. Okay? You have to be able to make people feel valued. That is so important, ladies. In order to in order to attract a provider, you have to be a person who knows how to make people feel valued. Okay? You have to know what it feels like to make a giver feel good. Okay, ladies, it's not just about taking. It's about knowing how to make someone who gives feel really good about giving. Okay, it's about allowing yourself to receive without resistance. Okay, ladies, so instead of downplaying the thing, turning down whatever it is they're trying to give you, being able to receive whatever that is wholeheartedly and make the person feel valued for even wanting to give it to you. You have to know how to do those things, ladies. You have to know that it is a requirement for a generous person to feel valued, okay? Because it feeds their reward system as well. To a man who is generous, it feels like, if I'm a generous man, right, and I'm giving to this woman, and this woman is excited and over the top and she's appreciative, it feeds something in me. It does something to me. It gives me kind of this dopamine hit to where now I want to do it again and again and again. Do you get what I'm saying, ladies? You have to be able to attract generosity, and you do that by making the giver feel valued. If you are not an appreciative woman, you don't need to be worried about becoming a spoiled woman. You may have it for a short time, but it will dwindle off. You have to know how to be an appreciative woman. You have to know how to be a graceful receiver. You have to know how to be these things in order to be a spoiled woman. It's about how we receive. How do we receive though, ladies? That's what it's about. It's not just about taking things from people. It's about how we do it. Okay, ladies? So in order to be provided for, in order to be a spoiled woman, you have to learn how to make people feel valued so that you can attract generosity. Okay, ladies? Hopefully that's all making sense. Okay, ladies, and finally, the last tip. If you want to be a spoiled woman, you're going to need to spoil yourself first. Okay? There is no better example of how to tell people to treat you than how you treat yourself. It don't get no better than that. Okay, ladies? So you want to give yourself experiences. Get yourself used to receiving and being in nice areas. Get yourself used to nice things, okay? Even from yourself. But get yourself used to these things, because how you treat yourself is the biggest influence and the biggest way that you show someone coming into your life what you expect. It's one of the biggest ways. It's showing them the standard for how you want to live. It's showing them the standard for how you want to be treated. Because if I won't treat myself like that, I for doggone sure am not going to let you treat me like that. Do you get what I'm saying, ladies? And so you want to be able to take care of yourself in that way. You want to be able to spoil yourself. So someone on the outside looking in can't say, well, you didn't have this standard before me, but now all of a sudden you want me to do this. You don't even have to worry about that kind of speech when you are actually putting yourself in certain rooms and taking care of yourself and treating yourself. Okay, ladies? Because at that point, I've had it before you and I expect it even when you're here, right? Because if you're here, that means that you're adding to something over here. And if I already had this, of course I expect it from you. Okay? So, spoil yourself first, ladies. Okay, ladies, so I hope that these tips helped you out. And like I said, once again, being spoiled is not just about what you get. Okay, ladies, it's about what you feel you deserve. It's about all of these things we talked about today. It's not just about taking, okay? And so with that, I want to thank you, ladies, for watching another episode of Get 'em Girl. I hope that this was helpful to you. Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see y'all in the next episode of Get 'em Girl. Bye.